Hi. So I noticed in my last video that I was really distracted while I was trying to do my makeup, so I decided I'm going to do the beginning of my makeup and then I'll finish up the makeup with you guys. I really want this look to be better than the last one, so I'm trying a lot harder. But I have another story for you guys. This one you won't be able to find on the internet. This is one story that I actually did try to find on the internet, and I found a bunch of other stuff that I never knew was out there, like including apparently there's an article in the New York Times about the cult that I came from. Hi, welcome back to my channel. My name is Amanda. If you're new here, I left a cult when I was 17 years old, almost 18. If you want to hear the stories about that, then click the link in my description box. Made a whole video all about that. Anyways, welcome back. If you were here last week, we talked about Kay's Cross and the legends and the mysteries of Kay's Cross, which I forgot to mention. They actually opened up that Kay's Cross area to the public back in 2013. The Order actually started making this haunted house attraction because of how much attention that cross got. Also, I'm going to be, I don't know if I told you guys this in my last video, I can't decide on my Halloween costume. I know I want to be something Tim Burton themed, so all of my costumes are Tim Burton themed, and once I decide which one I'm best at, I think that's what I'm going to be for Halloween. Anyways, this episode we are going to be talking about, it was a story that I heard growing up in the Order, and I heard it one specific way, and I didn't hear about it for years, and then later I heard from someone who actually was like born and alive at the time that this story had supposedly happened, and they told me a completely different story, a different version of the story. So I'm just going to tell you guys a story. You guys can tell me if you think it's true or not, or what you think really happened, because this is something that I've thought about for years and I still have no clue what the truth is. I'm just going to remind you, this is just a story. The last one had a lot of truth to it. This one, I don't know if there's truth to it, but I've heard it multiple times in a few different ways, so there's got to be some truth to it. Anyways, let me go fix my face and I'll come back to you and we'll discuss. I glued my mouth shut on accident. I don't want to rip it apart because then it's going to ruin the like latex. That we're just going to leave it as it is, okay? So if you already know who I am, leave it in the comments down below. I want to know. I want to know who knows who I am before I'm even done. Okay, so let's get into the story. This took a lot longer than I thought. I'm so glad I didn't film it because it took all of my concentration. And it doesn't even look that good, you know? You would think it took me like 10 minutes. It took me like an hour and a half. So, back when I was in the Order, I had heard that my grandpa, Ortel Kingston, who was the leader before the leader now, so he had like 14, 15 wives. He had a lot of wives. And I had heard that he had a favorite wife. He liked her the most. He took her everywhere. Wasn't really in love with the other ones like he was with this one, specifically. And so, years passed. This is back in the Years pass. They've been married for a while. They have a few kids together. And she gets really sick. I don't know if she got pneumonia or I don't know, but back in the day it was like they didn't really go to the doctors back then, so they just kind of stayed home and hoped that like home remedies would fix the problem. But it didn't, and she ends up passing away. So his favorite wife ends up dying, and he, of course, is really sad about it. He goes to the funeral, he's sad, he's crying, and someone notices that as they're going through the line to view the body, you know, at the viewing, they noticed that Ortel's wife is missing a finger. And so it was believed that Ortel, my grandpa, loved her so much that he cut a piece of her finger off and kept it in his pocket forever. Like, he took the finger with him everywhere. Isn't that gross? So that's what people had told me. Anyways, I believe that story. At least I believed that it could be possibly true back when I was a kid. But as I got older, I didn't really know what the truth was. I didn't know why people believed that, but I ended up talking to someone who was alive at the time that the wife had passed away, and this person had told me a different story. A lot different than what I had been told. Their story was, it was actually Brother Charles, I believe. It was way back before my grandpa became the leader. And Brother Charles had, it's so weird because the story is like completely opposite. The story they told me, which I actually believe more because they are older and have talked to people that were around at the funeral, like, you know, all that jazz. So I believe that story over the story that I heard when I was a kid. But they had said that it was actually Brother Charles, and he had one of his wives that he hated. He did not like her. I guess he never even wanted to be married to her. But, you know, in the order, sometimes they, like, assign people to marry certain people directed by God. So one of his many wives, he, I guess, just didn't like her. She had a mouth on her. She would stand up for herself. She wouldn't let him walk all over her. How dare she? So he punished her and had her living outside. So it was like, you know those porches that have the screens around them? It's like you're outside on the porch where there's a screen around so that the bugs can't get in. So he kicked her out of where she was living and had her living on a porch like that. That was her house. That was her room where she slept in, was a porch with screens all around it. And she was living out there while she was pregnant. It got cold because here in Utah, winter time comes, you know, and then what? So she was still living on this screen porch in the winter time. They said that she would wake up to frost on the bottom of her bed from the snow that had seeped in through the screen. Anyways, surprise, surprise, she gets sick of pneumonia, but luckily she's able to give birth to the child. After having the child, a few days later, she passes away. It's said that, well, this is what the person told me, Charles was really happy that she died, and I guess it's a thing when someone kills someone to get a trophy off the person. Charles decides to cut a piece of her finger off and keep it with him as his trophy, like his triumph that he killed her. He kept it in his pocket with him everywhere he went. Same thing as the other story. He was happy that she died. He hated her, got rid of her, and he was happy that he got away with it. So he took a trophy by cutting off her pinky and put it in his pocket. And they say that he had a finger in his pocket for the rest of his life. I don't know how true these stories are. It just seems a little odd that that same story was told in different ways, you know? So it makes me believe that some of it had to have been true. It makes me believe that, I don't know who did it, but somebody cut off someone's finger, okay? And they put it in their pocket. Let me know in the comments down below what you think. Let me know if you think it even happened at all. My personal belief is that someone may have cut off someone's finger and kept it with them, but I don't know that anyone was murdered. And it honestly, I would rather believe the love story one, that he loved her so much he kept a piece of her with him. But like if it was someone that I loved, I would probably just take like a lock of their hair, you know, or like, I don't know, one of their necklaces, I would wear it. I don't know. I don't think I would feel right taking their finger. So maybe it was someone that killed, you know, that was getting a trophy for murdering them. That makes sense, I guess. But I don't know why it's so hard for me to believe. Maybe it's because I didn't know him. I don't know. It just makes me wonder what the truth is. And so I'm not going to say this is a true story. All I'm going to say is it's a little bit of gossip that goes around in the order, and I'm sure a lot of order people have heard this story. Let me get the wig. I'm Edward Scissorhands. You know what I kind of look like, now that I'm looking at myself? I kind of look like the lead singer of My Chemical Romance. Well, when you go, don't ever think I'll make you try to stay. I hope you like this story from the cult that I came from. If you guys have any creepy stories, let me know. And we will be talking about the Bountiful Cemetery in the next video, so see you guys next week.